The game ain't based on sympathy. I'll leave it at that.
What's up, YouTube, man? It's your boy Action Jackson, and in today's video, man, we're gonna be discussing this report that came out by Michael Gelkin. Shout out to DC Center for posting it earlier today. So around like 12 o'clock, Pacific Standard Time, there's a report that broke out by Michael Gelkin that reported that wide receiver Michael Gallup will now receive a contract extension before the start of the regular season. This is not a surprise. Dallas low-key told you when we dropped this CeeDee Lamb almost, a year and a half ago when we dropped the CeeDee Lamb, they told you low-key that we're not going to be able to retain a Michael Gallup. And I'm not going to sit up here and act like I know everything, but with the Dallas Cowboys, always has a recent pattern. If they know they cannot retain a guy, they're always going to either fix it that off season or the off season after that, because they're going to suffer that season if they can't retain him. So like a Byron Jones. When we lost Byron Jones last year, we fixed that same off season when we let him go, and we ended up getting Trevon Diggs in the second round. Trevon Diggs, he's pretty good. There's no knock on Trevon Diggs. He still has a lot more, years left in the NFL, and he's always practicing with top 5, top 10 receiver every offseason in practice, and he sees them in the regular season. So Diggs, he's going to get a lot of growth and a lot of improvement. So I can't hit on that pick right there. And Dallas they always like letting these players go, and they always like getting comp picks. So if we let go of Michael Gallup, worst case scenario, we get like a 3rd round, 4th round comp pick. But to me, I don't really like when Dallas lets people go for nothing. Because to me, getting a 3rd round, 4th round comp pick is nothing if you're not going to use that 3rd, 4th round comp pick, package it up to move up in the draft and to get an extra pick in the 2nd or 1st round to either go get another receiver to replace a Gallup, or a DB, a safety, a linebacker, a pass rusher, so on and so forth. Dallas don't do that. So this is what I'm saying. This is why I don't like when we draft well and we don't do anything. If you know, my stance and my point is if you're going to have a good player like a Michael Gallup and you're not going to pay him, trade him. Because I don't want to use a 3rd round or 4th round compensatory pick. We don't know what that 3rd or 4th round compensatory pick contains, or somebody like a Michael Gallup. Trade him for and package him to go get a top tier elite corner like maybe a Stephon Gilmore, or package him up and go get somebody like a top tier pass rusher. Like I heard that Chandler Jones was on the market. This is for an example, not saying that we should do that, but for like a Chandler Jones, but I would package up a Gallup and a pick and maybe like an Anthony Brown to go get like a JC Jackson or like a Stephon Gilmore. But that's what I wish Dallas would do. Instead of letting these players walk for weak comp picks, I would just rather use the player that we have now and trade him and try to get an elite top tier proven commodity. Well, since I know Dallas won't do that, Dallas has 2 options. Now, Dallas and Michael Gallup, they both can work hand in hand. If Dallas the team, if we make it to a deep playoff run, who knows? Michael Gallup might want to come back to Dallas and won't mind taking a hometown discount. I believe number 2 wide receiver is making around anywhere from $15 to $18 million, and that's exactly what Michael Gallup will reach and will want. So if Michael Gallup really wanted to test the market, he can, and he has options. He can go to anywhere he can go. If he wants to go chase the bag and be number 1 somewhere, he can definitely go to places like a New England, a New York Jets. He can go to Las Vegas Raiders. There's so many. He can go to so many other. His options are wide if he tests the open market. He can go have to go chase the bag if he wants to. But Michael Gallup is going to ask himself, if I want to go chase this bag, if they're going to be a quarterback like a Dak Prescott who's top 10, and he's a top 10 quarterback, and who's somebody's going to he's going to bet on me, and he's going to really believe in me and throw the ball up and give me a chance to go make a play. How many other quarterbacks are there? He's got to ask himself, where a team, what a top 10 quarterback. So you're thinking of like a Seattle. Seattle's already compacted at that position. I mean, Russell Wilson would love it. Russell Wilson would love a Michael Gallup to go pair with DK, Lockett, and then a Gallup. But Seattle won't do that because they have to go pay a DK Metcalf in a couple years. So they won't really do that if they're looking in the future. He can go play for a Kansas City. He can go play for Kansas City, be number 2, play opposite of Tyreek Hill. And you got Travis Kelce and, KC, they'll be really deadly with a Michael Gallup. But Michael Gallup can take a hometown discount, stay with Dallas, and go play with a CeeDee Lamb, a Cooper. Gallup's quote this past week, he said that he even admitted that Amari Cooper is top dog. So I believe that Michael Gallup is he's a really good kid off the field, though, because I honestly think it all depends on what Dallas does this year. If Dallas doesn't do a whole lot, that he might just leave and go play for a contender, or he might just stay with take a little hometown discount and play with a nice wide receiver core. So Michael Gallup's options are open, and Dallas, they always end up doing this, letting go of a nice receiver, or not even a nice receiver, just a nice player, letting him go for nothing for a comp pick, which eventually that comp pick we won't use that comp pick to move up in the draft or anything like that. So, hopefully that we re-sign Michael Gallup, but I just don't see Dallas doing it unless he gets paid below market value, because we know how Stephen Jones is. He's dollar general. He doesn't really like overspending for players and things like that. So we're going to see this offseason, not this offseason, but the next offseason, we're going to see what we do with a Michael Gallup, see if we retain him and things like that. But my message is, and my final thought, my final quote or whatever I'm going to say is, if Dallas is not going to pay a Michael Gallup, trade him. If you want to package him up for a safety, maybe package him up and send him to New York for Marcus May. So what? Trade for trade, both players on expiring contracts. Dallas will pay Marcus May, and then New York can go spend money on him, Gallup, and they'll have their number 1, things like that. So, it's going to be interesting to see what Dallas does with Gallup. I would love for them to trade him if they're not going to pay him. If they pay him, I would love him. I would love for him to come back on this team and stay and keep this 3-headed monster, but it's very unlikely because you're paying your number 1 $20 million. You're going to have to pay Gallup anywhere from $15 to $18 million. And then CeeDee Lamb balls out like how we expect him to be, and if he does what he did in college and he transitions it into the NFL, CeeDee Lamb is going to be a big superstar in this league. So, and then you're going to have to pay him when it's time for him to get paid, and he has a 5th-year option. So it's going to be worthwhile to see what Dallas is going to do with Gallup. So yes, thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys next time. Bye.